Good evening. Stefan is away this week. While many across Ottawa enjoyed the sunshine today, across the region, people are bracing for more rain and possible major flooding. In Gatineau, the mayor says up to 33 streets and 119 buildings will be at risk. And that's because water levels on the Ottawa River are already up 11 to 14 centimeters and up 7 to 8 centimeters on the Gatineau River. CTV's Kimberly Johnson reports.
Normally it sticks to the one side, but this year, like I said, it's coming in so fast, and with all the rain, it's finding any hole.
Jason Rockburn's sub pump is working overtime, and another one is on hand as water levels creep up in his region of Pontiac, Quebec.
Every year we do have water down here, but not to this extent. It's rising much faster than usual.
Rockburn's basement is a glimpse of the effect of rising water levels along the Ottawa River. For him and his neighbors, officials say the water levels here in Quillon and the Pontiac are currently holding steady. But in other parts of Western Quebec, residents are bracing for potentially serious flooding.
Basically all the rain that we've had in the past week, and because of the snow melting pretty quick, the water up north is still coming down, so there's more to expect.
However, in Gatineau, officials are warning the water could reach 2023 flood levels by Sunday.
What we have seen is that the level of water has increased in the past few hours, in the past day.
The city says 33 streets and 119 buildings could be affected by flooding in the coming days. In Aylmer, Hull, Gatineau, and Masson-Angers, Gatineau's mayor says firefighters will be on hand for those affected.
They will be going door to door. They will knock to doors, leave information if people are not there to make sure that people that are concerned by this level of water are informed of the situation.
Back in the Pontiac, officials continue to monitor the situation. The municipality is providing sandbags for residents should they need it. But the mayor says that a major focus during flooding is on roads.
We just keep an eye on everybody. You know, like every association, they got a guy in charge. They're the one who can contact us anytime they need it. And in the meantime, my inspectors goes around and check things up.
This is a region that has seen major flooding in the past. Residents say they are prepared.
With this weather today, if it could keep up, that'd be nice.
Kimberly Johnson, CTV News.
Here in Ottawa and the Valley, flood watches and warnings remain in effect, and those living near and along low-lying shorelines are concerned water could spill over and into their homes. A flood watch is in place for the lower Ottawa River between Hawkesbury and Arnprior, and a flood warning is in effect from Arnprior to Pembroke. CTV's Tyler Fleming has more.
The risk of flooding along the Ottawa River is real, and in Cumberland, neighbors are gathered, filling sandbags fast, 400 so far.
As many as we can. It's not enough.
Firefighters are helping too. The houses here have been hit hard by floods in the past, and no one wants a repeat.
You're worried this weekend?
Yeah, definitely.
Along the river, water is rising. Experts point to recent rainfall, northern snowmelt, and flawed flow control.
We're extremely concerned. Based on our monitoring and analysis across the watershed, the indicators are not encouraging.
Moving west, water encroaches on the road to Petrie Island. Lowlands are soaked. At Britannia Park, paths are now ponds. Barriers along the beach underwater.
Crystal Bay, we have Britannia, we have Belltown. Those are the primary spots that have flooded in the past and are on the watch. People are ready and waiting.
Mother Nature is hard to predict, and these days it seems to be a little bit more extreme than it used to be.
Jeff Oliver isn't too concerned yet. But two city-installed waterfront sandbagging stations only blocks apart, a reminder things can change fast.
I bought my house in 2019, and so far I haven't had any worries, but this is the first year I'm starting to wonder whether or not there's a possible repeat.
It's looking like things are on the heading on the down right now, so we're not worried about it, personally anyway.
But if the worst happens, this community is prepared to come together.
I'm just going to check with some neighbors and find out if there's any possibility of a sandbagging crew that I can help out on if we need to get to that point.
All right, we'll take our first check of what's happening weather-wise here in the capital. But before we do that, we'll take a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. We are sitting at 14 degrees here in the capital. Warmer evening that we're dealing with. Jackie Perez has a first look at your weather tonight.
Well, we finally got some spring-like conditions and patio weather. However, it might not be lasting very long. We are anticipating some rain moving through, not quite for Saturday morning. It's really going to be around 2 to the 6 o'clock hour, and it shouldn't be likely clearing by the time 9 p.m. rolls around for tomorrow. Keep in mind, though, while we are getting to 22 degrees as the daytime high, we are anticipating wind gusts between 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. Sometimes it could even get up to 60 kilometers per hour. So keeping a very close eye on this. We'll get a closer look at your long-term forecast in just a bit.
Well, thank you, Jackie. Ships are now moving through the Strait of Hormuz. Iran says it reopened the route, which sent markets soaring as oil prices dropped. But experts say there will be little immediate relief when it comes to costs of goods and gas here in Canada. The strait reopened after a ceasefire agreement was reached between Israel and Lebanon. President Trump claimed on social media that Iran has agreed to never close the strait again, but there's no indication Iran has said that. Trump also claims that the U.S. is now working with Iran to remove all mines from the waterway. And while direct talks between the U.S. and Iran last weekend were inconclusive, Trump suggests a second round of peace talks between the two nations could happen again this weekend.
It should pave the way for, negotiation to end this war. Or it could also be used just to put pressure on the United States with their blockade against, commerce coming out of Iran.
Prime Minister Mark Carney took part in a call with world leaders today on restoring freedom of navigation through the strait. Now, oil prices fell more than 10% on Friday following the news of the strait's reopening, but that won't be reflected at the pumps immediately. Gas prices are actually set to jump 9 cents a litre in Ottawa on Saturday, and that's partly because of the annual switch to the more expensive summer blend. And amid soaring jet fuel prices, Air Canada has announced flights from Toronto and Montreal to New York's JFK Airport will be temporarily suspended, and that's starting on June 1st, with plans to resume October 25th. The airline says jet fuel prices have doubled since the start of the Iran conflict. And millions of Canadians will get a little boost in their wallets this spring, with the federal government set to provide a one-time grocery benefit payment to eligible residents.
The new Canada Groceries and Essentials benefit will provide direct relief to more than 12 million Canadians, helping to offset the cost of groceries for working families.
The rebate will come in early June, and it replaces the existing GST-HST credit. And as CTV's Peter Sperling tells us, anyone who is eligible for that program will receive this one-time grocery payout.
Like many Canadians, Mary Garbett is seeing the cost of groceries surge.
They're just crazy. Every time you go into the store, everything keeps going up. And if it doesn't go up in price, the size gets smaller.
And while she says she doesn't qualify, some Canadians are getting a bit of relief with a one-time grocery benefit.
I don't know, a one-time payment, it'll help that little tiny bit. But I don't know how we can move forward with the prices the way that they are.
The payment coming June 5th is part of the government's new Canada Groceries and Essentials benefit, which will replace the existing GST-HST credit.
It doesn't apply to me, but hey, I know a lot of people that could use any kind of help.
Single Canadians without children will get a maximum of $267, while single people with children will receive $441 for one child and up to $717 with 4 children. The payment will be the same for married or common-law Canadians with kids. Those without will get a maximum of $349. The one-time payment is in addition to the overall quarterly benefit.
This is a very good step. It helps provide families with direct support at a time when they are struggling to afford things like childcare, housing, and, of course, the high cost of food.
A high cost of food that has many Ottawa grocery shoppers sticking to strict budgets and shopping at multiple stores in an effort to save money.
A plan and a budget, yes. I make a meal plan before heading out and make a list and also look at what's on sale.
You really have to make yourself aware of sales a lot more.
Yeah, I'm pretty frugal about my prices. I'll go to different stores, look for the deals, price match, things like that.
Peter Sperling, CTV News.
We're just going to build on that this year. We have more fun and surprises in between periods, and we're going to be sold out every game. And our team is pumped, everybody's ready, and super excited.
Yeah, gearing up for Game 1, the Ottawa Senators kick off their playoff series against the Hurricanes tomorrow afternoon with lots of excitement and high hopes from fans. Well, a heads up for drivers, the Alexandra Bridge is closed for the weekend to vehicles for its annual spring cleaning, and it'll be closed until 6 a.m. Monday morning. The bridge is still open for pedestrians and cyclists, though. Now, this maintenance work is to ensure the safety of the over 125-year-old bridge for all users. The National Capital Commission and Public Service and Procurement Canada are planning to fully replace the aging structure, and that's starting in 2028. All right, let's have another look at what's happening weather-wise. A look at the Ottawa skyline there. Now, the sun was out for the first time this week, and Ottawa residents, they really took advantage of the sunshine this afternoon. That's a look at some of the patios packed today as both the Tavern on the Falls and Tavern on the Hill, they open for the season. But rain is in store for the weekend. Jackie Perez now has a better look at that with your extended forecast. Jackie.
Well, taking a look at our overnight conditions, cooling to about 6 degrees, few clouds in the sky, so we are not getting any precipitation for the overnight. Tomorrow morning, we will likely be mainly sunny skies, but it's the afternoon that winds are going to really pick up. We'll likely see 10 to 15 millimeters of localized rainfall moving through, and those gusts between 40 to 60 kilometers per hour. It has prompted a special weather statement in effect for Ottawa, Smiths Falls, even really for all of eastern Ontario, where we could see, again, rainfall between Saturday p.m. to Sunday early morning. Now, this gives you an idea of when we could see the brunt of the storm moving through. This yellow indicating the chance of risk of thunderstorms moving in. By 2 p.m., we can see that Ottawa might get a little bit of rainfall, light rain. Pembroke run through, very similar. Kingston, not so much. It's really around 4 o'clock that we're going to start to see the rain start to move through a lot heavier. By 6 p.m., this band here, that's what we're keeping a very close eye on because it could lead to severe weather moving through and heavy rainfall at a short amount of time. Now, tonight's lows across eastern Ontario sitting around 6-7 degrees. Tomorrow's daytime highs, well, we are looking at another 20-plus degree day. 22 in Ottawa, 23 in Brockville and Cornwall, 24 degrees, 18 in Pembroke and Petawawa, so not quite hitting that 20-degree mark. But keep in mind that rain, we're going to get another round bit by Sunday early morning and could move fairly quickly. And as the temperatures drop as we get into Sunday, because it's going to drop rapidly, we might even see some snow moving in along Brockville and Cornwall. Taking a look at the temperatures that we can anticipate for Sunday, 8 degrees the daytime high, 4 for Monday. The likeliness of flurries we could still see by the time Tuesday rolls around.
Well, the city of Ottawa is officially in playoff mode with the Senators set to face the Hurricanes in Carolina in Game 1 tomorrow. Now, today, there was a flag raising as the stretch of Elgin Street is once again embracing the Sens Mile reputation. Sens Mile involves businesses along Elgin from Laurier to Gladstone. CTV's Josh Morano has more on how the city is getting ready for the playoff run.
At City Hall on Friday, the Sens flag is raised high.
Having the Senators in the playoffs is absolutely fantastic for our city.
Officially into playoff mode, and what many hope will be a deep run for the Ottawa Senators.
It's awesome to see what they're doing, and, that's the goal, is to bring a Stanley Cup to Ottawa.
Here we go. Thank you, sir.
And for the second year in a row, Elgin Street transforming into Sens Mile.
Ottawa's got a really great fan base, probably better than most being a Canadian team. This is an exciting time of year for sure.
For David Caird, the anticipation is building for postseason action and the chance to experience what the Mile has to offer right outside his door.
Looking forward to living in the neighborhood for the first time during the playoff season. So I'll be watching the away games here, and I'll be at every game at the CTC for sure.
I'm very pleased because they've got a very, very good team, and just see it as a progression from a year ago.
But it's not just fans gearing up for another year of playoff hockey.
We bought all brand new TVs, so you'll see those in every corner. We also picked up an 85-inch TV for the terrace this year.
Restaurants along Elgin say a playoff run is a much-needed boost to business, and they're ready to sell out once again.
We learned from last year, we were packed every single game, and the vibe was electric, and we're just going to build on that this year. We have more fun and surprises in between periods, and we're going to be sold out every game. Everybody's ready and super excited.
The phone hasn't stopped. We're not doing reservations. We're doing first come, first serve. We'll try to get as many groups in as we can, and hopefully with the patio, rain or shine, we'll be open out here.
Caird says he'll be watching Game 1 Saturday on Sens Mile as the Senators take on the top-seeded team in the East, the Carolina Hurricanes.
I honestly think that if we can have consistency, we'll be able to beat any team in the playoffs.
Josh Morano, CTV News.
And if you couldn't snag playoff tickets, you can watch the games outside the CTC in the CIBC Red Zone. They'll have every Sens game on the big screen with a live band, face painting, and $5 beers. Admission is free. Doors open 1 hour before puck drop for away games and 3 hours before home games. There will be an indoor option, though, if it rains.
In my opinion, it's not a matter of if this bylaw is going to be challenged. It's a matter of when.
After the break, the debate over the city's proposed bubble bylaw heats up ahead of a crucial vote at City Hall today. Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Ottawa put on a one-of-a-kind fashion show featuring some of Ottawa's most fashionable celebrities at Fashion for Futures Ottawa. Move 100, Sophie and Jeff, they served at Tonight MCs over at the Canadian Museum of Nature. Now, all funds raised go to providing life-changing support and mentor matches for youth in the Ottawa and Renfrew County communities. A bubble bylaw is one step closer to receiving final approval at City Hall. After spending much of the day debating, a city committee voted in favor of prohibiting protests within 50 meters of schools and places of worship. And as CTV's Caitlin Wilson tells us, dozens of people showed up to express both their support and opposition.
The proposed bubble bylaw is designed to create safe access around certain spaces, with supporters saying it's a response to increasingly hostile and at times targeted demonstrations.
After seeing the skyrocketing statistics of hate crimes against Jews, I think this is a very reasonable way to just say, let us get in. Let us get in and out without having someone in my child's face in a mask screaming at them.
David Sachs with the Jewish Federation of Ottawa, one of nearly 40 delegates speaking at a city committee Friday ahead of a vote on the bylaw. It would restrict protests within 50 meters of entrances and exits at schools, childcare centers, hospitals, residential care facilities, and places of worship. But opponents argue it's built on fear, not facts.
While we do have a documented pattern of incidents of violence and hate on the rise, these are not connected to protests, and that is not a pattern that we are seeing.
Constitutional lawyer Paul Champ says the bylaw won't hold up in court and says existing laws already address things like intimidation and harassment.
In my opinion, it's not a matter of if this bylaw is going to be challenged. It's a matter of when. The fact that a perfectly peaceful protest is deemed unlawful under this bylaw, in my view, will not withstand charter scrutiny.
Still, councillors approved the bylaw in a vote of 15-2. The city says its approach is about balance.
In that balancing act, we were looking at what is going to achieve council's objective of providing safe access, but still provide demonstrators with an opportunity to be seen and heard.
The bylaw would not apply to union protests, and facilities would still need to apply to receive safe access zone designation. The bylaw now heads to City Council for a final vote. Caitlin Wilson, CTV News.
Doug Ford has gone from the gravy train to gravy planes.
Up next, the Premier will be taking to the skies in a private jet this summer, but the nearly $29 million purchase is getting widespread backlash.
Pure Country 94. Ottawa's home for the best country music. Listen for your chance to win $50,000 with Pure Country's big $50K payday.
The province is doubling down on a policy ensuring new doctors with ties to Ontario are prioritized when it comes to applying for and securing a coveted spot in a specialized residency program. Now, right now, a two-round process matches medical grads with residencies. The province had a policy that would have saved first-round international graduate spots for people who attended high school in Ontario for at least 2 years. Now, that policy was rescinded amid a court challenge on constitutional grounds, but the Ministry of Health is now proposing making a similar rule law. Now, if passed, the law will ensure a dedicated stream for international medical students from Ontario. Now, that means the applicant must have spent 2 years in an Ontario secondary school or university full-time or lived here for more than 24 weeks as of the year prior to applying for residency. Health Minister Sylvia Jones says the goal is to prioritize medical students with closer ties to the province who are more likely to stay and practice here after residency. Ontario's premier will soon be taking to the skies in a nearly $29 million private jet fueled by taxpayer dollars. The government says it's needed for extensive travel, but that's not flying with the opposition who want to see the purchase grounded. CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris reports.
It's a shiny new addition to Ontario's government fleet, a 10-year-old Bombardier Challenger 650 to fly the premier around on government business. The price tag, $29 million, a purchase that's left opposition leaders gobsmacked.
Doug Ford has gone from the gravy train to gravy planes.
It's excessive. It's extravagant.
I'm just outraged at how out of touch this premier is.
The premier's office is justifying buying the plane, with Doug Ford spending more time stateside to make the case against U.S. tariffs. There are more trips across Ontario and the country, meeting with Mark Carney.
I'm happy here with the Prime Minister. He's doing a great job.
Linking up with other premiers.
There's no justification. When people can't afford the price of milk or gas is $1.85 a liter.
While many federal cabinet ministers fly commercial, the premier's office explains Ford needs a more flexible, secure, and confidential way to travel.
There are planes that belong already to the government that he takes now. Frankly, you know, he could maybe just take economy like the rest of us.
Not quite a year into his time as premier, Ford asked for a souped-up van to get around Ontario.
I'm the only premier in history that refuses to use the premier's plane, the King Air, that costs the taxpayers hundreds of thousands of dollars. I prefer to drive around and talk to the people about things that matter.
The Canadian Taxpayers Federation finds the $29 million plane galling when Ontario is swimming in red ink.
They're borrowing $25.8 billion this year, driving up our total debt to nearly $500 billion. It's actually gross, and I think the vast majority of taxpayers in this province agree with that.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
All right, coming up, a Sens fan based in the UK is trying to cross the pond and get to Ottawa for the Stanley Cup playoffs.
The National Capital Region is jam-packed with incredible experiences you don't want to miss. Hey, I'm Sanaya Taylor, your iHeartRadio Weekender, powered by Barrhaven Ford. Get the inside scoop on all the biggest and best events every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on CTV, Move 100, Pure Country 94, TSN 1200, and News Talk 580 CFRA. iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barrhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford dealership, and Ontario's #1 Ford EV dealer.
Well, here's another live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. We're heading down to 12 degrees right now in Ottawa. And then we got a final check on your weather as well. We'll check in with Jackie Paris one more time.
Mainly cloudy skies to kick things off for our Saturday morning, and 9 degrees. We are warming up to 22, but again, by the evening, we could see between 10 to 15 millimeters of rain moving in. Sunday, chance of showers in the early hour of the day. It could even bring some flurries as well, depending on where you are in Eastern Ontario. Daytime high will be 8 degrees and much colder on Monday with a daytime high of 4.
Well, thank you, Jackie. He calls himself the UK's biggest NHL fan, and he cheers for the Ottawa Senators. Now he's trying to get to Ottawa for a playoff game. Harrison Dowling posted this video to TikTok saying his wife told him if any Sens player commented on the video, they would book flights to Ottawa for the playoffs. Now, the Sens organization commented on behalf of the entire team, book those flights. Dowling joined Ottawa's Pure 94 this morning and shared how he became a Sens fan.
But we have got family that live over in Ottawa on my dad's side. When I was 10 years old, we went over for the first family trip, and they took us to a Sens game, and that was it.
That was it.
That's how they get you.
That sealed the deal.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, he says he has a good feeling about the Sens' chances in the playoffs. You know what? I agree. As someone who cheers for the other Ontario team, I'm cheering for the Sens right throughout the playoffs this year. All right, well, that's CTV News for this Friday, April 17th. For all of us here at CTV News, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again tomorrow night. Have a great weekend.